Straight ahead on 12 News, a record night of rainfall, closing roads from Maple Grove to Brooklyn Park and flooding yards.
We looked out the living room door and the water was coming towards the front. I got to praying to God.
Leaving homeowners in a wet bind. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. It rained so much in Maple Grove, MnDOT brought out the snow plows to squeegee off the roads.
That goes down as a 100-year flood event, and one National Weather Service observer reported nearly 10 inches of rain falling in Maple Grove on Wednesday night. All the rain created major problems on local highways. Here, MnDOT brought out a snowplow to clear away water on Interstate 94 near Highway 169. MnDOT had to close down the ramp Thursday morning from Highway 169 to westbound 94. And westbound 94 was also down to 2 lanes for a period of time. The ramp and lanes have since reopened. And all the rain has created a big mess for some homeowners and city workers.
The reporter Sonia Goins shows us how they're trying to dry out and recover from the record rainfall.
I think the sewer broke and the water come up just like a volcano.
The area of Lark Lane and 92nd Avenue looked like a swamp. Public Works crews spent most of the day pumping rainwater off the road. Officials say the rain came so fast, the newly installed storm drain couldn't keep up. They're redirecting the water to a nearby pond. Meanwhile, owners of stranded vehicles watched anxiously.
You couldn't react anything.
Coet Wynn's Toyota Camry couldn't make it through the high water.
I see the cup of coffee floating. I said, no. Is that the water in the car?
Coet called his brother to help him get out of the car.
If I get out of the car, I'm afraid the current will take me, open it, and up to my navel. So it is deep.
Now this is another example of just how high the water was. This is a spot where a hot tub used to sit. It floated next door.
Valerie Felder Parker's backyard is a soggy mess.
The water was coming towards the front. I got to praying to God and said, please don't let the water come through here.
Markings on a fence show just how high the water rose.
That's the water line. That's the water line. That's how high it got.
She says there's more damage inside her home.
We got about at least 8 inches of water in our basement.
Valerie has lived in this house for 4 years, and she says she's never seen anything like this.
It's all wet. Look.
Everything on the floor is soaked.
Look how high it was on the box. See that?
Her sofa is soggy.
It's soaked all up in here. It's wet. Don't make no sense. So look at this.
Valerie piled up towels to stop the water from flowing into rooms.
Don't make no sense. Everything in here was floating.
She's now wondering how she's going to recover from all this damage.
You can't cry about it, you know. We gonna handle it.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Over in Brooklyn Park, the rain fell so hard, backyards turned into lakes.
Going down to the lake behind our house, which, oh yeah, it used to be dry.
And this is the backyard of Paul and Barbara Ferguson, just west of Edinburgh Golf Course. They estimate about 2 to 3 inches of rain fell in about 45 minutes Wednesday evening. It created a massive pool of water behind their home, possibly up to 15 feet deep.
And if you live in Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park, or Osseo, chances are that you witnessed a rainfall that only comes along once every 100 years. Dwayne Cleveland caught up with forecasters from the National Weather Service for some historical perspective.
If cloudy skies, heavy rainfall, and the sight of backed up storm drains seemed like a common sight this summer, that's because it was.
Those normal summers, 12, 13 inches of rain. Certainly August and September, really, we've done that.
But according to Mike Griesinger, a forecaster from the National Weather Service in Chanhassen, in the Northwest Metro, this summer has been anything but normal.
Brooklyn Park and Osseo, who just picked up close to 10 inches yesterday. And so for the summer they're probably 20 to 30 inches of rain on the summer. From off our radar last night, so Maple Grove sits there, Osseo is kind of hidden in here.
During Wednesday night's storm, Griesinger says the area hit hardest by the rainfall was Brooklyn Park, Maple Grove, and Osseo.
That's where we would go winter, winter, chicken dinner.
80% of the rain fell in a 3-hour time span, which explains the backed up storm drains and the flooded intersections.
When you're putting out that much rainfall in that short a time, there's just nowhere for the water to go.
The result was certainly no fun for residents or anyone who had to travel through the area. But Griesinger said they witnessed history.
What they saw there would be considered a 100 to 200 year type of rainfall.
It's the type of rainfall he says the area might not see again for decades. However, its impact could be felt for months.
And this is the type of thing that goes in and recharges your groundwater supply.
That's the good news. The bad news is that our rivers are at a level we typically see in April or May.
If we go into the winter with rivers like we have right now, we'll have a significantly increased chance for major river flooding in the spring.
In Chanhassen, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Forecasters from the National Weather Service say a wet summer doesn't mean we're due for a snowy winter, but early indications are that we will see more snow and colder temperatures, they tell us, than last year.
In other news, a Plymouth business executive is among 5 people indicted for allegedly stealing millions of dollars from Eden Prairie-based Starkey Laboratories. Jerry Ruzicka had worked at Starkey for 38 years and was company president from 1998 until his firing last year. The indictment accuses Ruzicka of creating a sham company to steal from Starkey, which makes hearing aids and is known for its annual fundraising gala to provide free hearing aids to people in need around the world. Ruzicka's attorney released a written statement saying his client has done nothing wrong.
In Golden Valley, a groundbreaking date has been set for the city's future Brookview Community Center. Construction will begin October 5th. The new $12.5 million community center will include an indoor play area for kids, a new golf clubhouse, and offer a large banquet room for weddings. Construction will take about a year, and after that, the existing, nearly 100-year-old community center will be torn down.
A bank in Plymouth is celebrating a remarkable anniversary this week. Center National Bank has only been in Plymouth since 2008, and it's the only branch of the bank which is based in Litchfield. But the bank itself is celebrating 125 years this week.
We're not a bank that's going to pressure people to buy products, or we're not here to sell people anything. We're here to be trusted advisors, I would say. Help them with their businesses, help them with their personal finances, help them accomplish their goals and their dreams.
The bank employs 40 people, and some of the employees have been with the bank for 50 years. Coming up, our first standout student of the new school year. She's from Cooper High School, and we'll meet her up next.
And then later in sports, how Armstrong's volleyball team hopes to build on a tournament championship.
But first, the rain isn't going away. More showers are expected on Friday. When teachers think about a leader at Cooper High School, often one young lady comes to mind.
She is president of both the Student Council and National Honor Society and involved in many other groups on campus. Reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to Jael Kerandi, our first standout student of the year.
There seems to be an exponent on the X, right?
Oh, right, and that's...
Okay.
Often you'll find Jael Kerandi spending her lunch hour right here.
Take that and then just replace it with X.
Crunching numbers.
Both times.
As a teaching assistant.
X squared minus 5.
In an advanced math class.
Replace each X.
Jael is an honor student who says math isn't her favorite subject, but helping people is one of her favorite things to do.
I value our community. I think Cooper has a big range of family here.
And in the family album,
here's a student council page. I was vice president last year.
So you're really all over the yearbook.
A little bit, a little bit.
You'll see Jael's picture quite a bit because she's one of the most involved students on campus.
Jael is kind of that student who does absolutely everything.
In being involved, I'm able to project our community as well as have people on the outside of Cooper see how great Cooper is on the inside. So you have to reciprocate it.
She's a student who is focused and dedicated.
This is technically like a -1 right
with a bright future ahead of her.
I would like to go to the Carlson School of Management and major in marketing economics with an emphasis on international business and sports management. And I would like to become the marketing director of Nike into the future.
That's later, but right now Jael is known at Cooper High School.
Hi, Jane.
For her kind spirit.
How are you?
She's kind of an example of what all students should be.
And then find the inverse.
And leading from the heart.
She loves the school. She loves the people in it, and everything she does, she kind of does out of love.
In New Hope, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Well, Jael is also captain of the step team and was on the DECA team that went to internationals last year. She's still applying to colleges. Go for it.
Go,
right?
Jael, that's right.
Coming up, a new way to enjoy the Mississippi River.
But first, Champlin Park gears up for a big football game against rival Blaine. Jay Wilcox has that and more coming up next in sports.
The Champlin Park football team looks at Friday's game against Blaine as an opportunity to hand a big rival its first loss. With the 2-1 start, the Champlin Park Rebels say they're still a work in progress. After an opening loss to Minnetonka, the Rebels pulled out close wins over Centennial and Coon Rapids.
We feel good. We feel like we can improve on some things on offense and defense, both sides of the ball. But I feel like we have a lot of talent this year, and we can really make a playoff run this year.
Up and down. It's been an up and down year. Not so much. We got to grow up. We got to get a little bit more experience. We got to learn how to prepare for games a little bit better and be a little bit more consistent. I mean, we'll take the wins. We got 2 wins. That's great. But to win the rest down the road here that we're looking at, we got to be more consistent.
Champlin Park faces a big test Friday night as they host a Blaine team that's been quite impressive in building a 3-0 record.
Blaine's a very good football team. It presents a huge challenge. We have to stick to our fundamentals and play discipline. Offense, they do very well. They're very well at being efficient. They get a play done. They get to the ball in a matter of seconds. Get the play off seconds later as well. So we have to match their speed and enthusiasm to get right at them.
They beat 2 teams that we've played, and they beat them by more than what we beat them by. So we got to play. We got to show up, and we got to play from the start, not wait till later on in the game and start picking things up. It's got to happen right away at the start of the game at 7 o'clock.
They beat us last year in a close game, so it'd be nice to punch a win out there, especially against a 3-0 team like them.
Beating the Bengals won't be easy, but it's also an opportunity for Champlin Park to get rolling heading into the second half of this season. Well, it's hard to believe, but after this week's games, we'll be halfway through the regular season in prep football. In addition to that Champlin Park Blaine game, there are some other good matchups in the area this week. Top-ranked Totino Grace takes on upset-minded Osseo, and also Maple Grove hosts Eden Prairie on Friday. Our TV game is Park Center at Armstrong as both teams look to bounce back after slow starts. Cooper will look to stay unbeaten as they host St. Louis Park. Brooklyn Center is at home against Edison. Breck plays at Columbia Heights. Providence is in St. Paul to face Harding. West Lutheran travels to Lanesboro. Hopkins hosts Edina. That one's at 6 o'clock. And Saturday, Benilde plays at De La Salle. The Armstrong Volleyball team is coming off a very busy week that resulted in bringing some hardware to their trophy case. The Falcons are back at work at practice after winning the Heritage Christian Academy tournament on Saturday. They won 6 matches over 2 days at the tournament, beating the host Eagles, who are number 5 in Class A in the championship match.
It was really fun. We went to 3 sets with them, so it just made it a lot more exciting and just interesting. And the intensity was really high, so.
Oh, that was so exciting. We really pulled it through and worked together as a team, and we all stepped up, and it was one of the best moments of the season so far, so that was really exciting.
Armstrong enters Thursday night with a 10-3 record. Prior to the Heritage Tournament last week, the Falcons lost 2 heartbreakers in 5 sets to Centennial and Totino Grace after building early leads. Though it was painful at the time, the Falcons say they'll learn from those matches.
It's a little bit disheartening that we had 2 5-setters in the same week where we won the first 2 sets and couldn't close out the match at home. But those are great learning experiences. You know, you learn in adversity. When you win every match by a lot, there's not much to teach from. So
I think it helps us to think about we can learn from that and practice those things at practice, focus more.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learned that we need to keep our focus and keep being present on the court, and it's really paid off, especially in the Heritage Tournament.
After playing at Spring Lake Park Thursday night, Armstrong is at Andover next Tuesday. So they're quietly putting together a pretty decent season. They've got a fairly young team still.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
Now to local vote 2016 in the race for mayor of Robbinsdale.
Incumbent Regan Murphy was first elected mayor in 2012. Before that, he was on the Planning Commission. He's running against Henry King, who works for the city and is making his first political run.
Hello, my name is Regan Murphy, current mayor of Robbinsdale. Since being elected in 2012, I've worked extremely hard to serve Robbinsdale residents and businesses. I was born and raised in Robbinsdale, attended Robbinsdale schools, and now live in my own neighborhood with my wife, Chris, and our 3 children. Over the last 4 years, there have been many challenges. I'm glad I was in a position to deal with these challenges and protect Robbinsdale's interests. We have also experienced many successes. We have seen several new businesses, a growing downtown district, low taxes, and many new amenities in our city. My experience, vision, and passion has helped Robbinsdale thrive. Moving forward, I commit to Robbinsdale residents that I will continue to work hard to keep Robbinsdale safe, grow Robbinsdale as a destination for our businesses, and focus on the safety and success of our proposed Blue Line light rail station. I ask for your vote on November 8th, and let's keep making it better in Birdtown.
Hi Robbinsdale, my name is Henry King and I'm running for mayor. So why run for office? Many politicians run for office for easy money or to glorify their huge egos. I am running to make Robbinsdale a more livable town for all of us. What makes a town livable? It comes down to the basics. For example, it is nice to have a big grocery store to shop in, but it is even nicer to have clean streets that are not trashed. It is kind of nice to have 20 gas stations to fuel up when you need to, but it is even nicer to have a safe community for the kids and everybody else. If a town loses touch with the basics and allows violence, crime, and trash to pollute the atmosphere, the town is no longer livable, no matter what amenities the town may bring in. The basics matter much more than the bells and whistles. Vote Henry King for mayor, and together we can make Robbinsdale a livable town again.
Still ahead, a new way to cruise the Mississippi River.
And we'll go on a different paddling adventure coming up next.
And finally, picture this, a crisp fall day, the leaves changing colors, and a kayak trip down the Mississippi River.
Sounds pretty good. It's not a pipe dream. The Mississippi River Paddle Share is the first of its kind in the country, and it allows you to rent a kayak near the Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis border at North Mississippi Regional Park and take a 4-mile ride down to Boom Island. Organizers of the project celebrated with a kayak trip down the river today, and they took in all the wonderful views.
It's this terrific mix of nature and kind of the urban story of Minneapolis. So you see the industrial use of the river as well, but we saw peregrine falcons today, we saw several bald eagles, it's the height of bird migration. So that really cool mix of kind of urban and natural.
To reserve a kayak, you can go to paddleshare.org. And they said the river was really flowing today, as you can imagine. It took them about an hour, 15 minutes, not too bad, for a 4-mile trip.
Normally that'd be a couple hours, I suppose.
I would imagine, yeah. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
We will see you back here again Friday starting at 4.